Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And speaking of time, it's been a while since I played this game, but there are a couple of things we still need to do, and the first one is talk to Mallet. Thank you very much for the other day. I haven't even asked you your name yet. Really? Kyle! That's what I thought. You're the fairy boy from the forest. That was years ago. Do you remember me? You do? I was sure it was you because Epona remembered you. Oh, I have to tell you about Mr. Ingo. He was afraid that the evil king might find out that Epona had been taken away. It really upset him. But one day, all of a sudden, he went back to being a normal, nice person. Now my dad is coming back. I can't believe it, but peace is returning to this ranch. It's all because of you. I owe you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Kyle. And if we talk to her again, Epona looks great. It looks like you were able to tame her, too. How about trying your skill with Epona on an obstacle course? I'll time you for 2 laps. It's pretty challenging. If you miss jumping a fence in the proper order, you'll fail. How about it? Do you want to try? The current record is 50 seconds. First, try to beat this record. If you can beat the record, I'll give you a present. Give it your best shot, okay? Alright, let's get started. Now, I've never really been good at doing this minigame. Basically, it's really simple. All you gotta do is do 2 laps, jumping over all of the fences in order on Epona in under 50 seconds, and you'll get a pretty cool reward, which I'll show you if I end up getting it done, which I probably will. It's not really that hard, but if you don't time your carrots properly, you're probably not gonna get it. Now, this whole situation here, I can't believe I never went back after I beat Ganon and explored what happened to the ranch after we got done here and got Epona and stuff. What happened to the ranch? Basically, what the point of this minigame is, you're supposed to come back and do this to see what happened to the ranch, I guess. But it just so happened that this is like the only thing that I didn't go back and do after I beat the game. And I was like proud of myself that I did everything so well, did everything in the game, but then I forgot about this, and here we completed the minigame. But other than this, there's only the Hylian Loach for me to catch, and after that, I'm pretty sure that's actually going to be everything. You did it! 48 seconds is the new course record! I have to give you a present to commemorate your new record. The present is a little too heavy to give to you here, so I'll have it delivered to your house. Bet you can't wait to see it, hee hee! And speaking of my house, I will meet you guys there. And here we are at Link's house. There's a cow in here that definitely wasn't in here before, and somehow it was too heavy to get me at the ranch, but it wasn't too heavy to get up the ladder outside somehow and to put in my house. But if you play Epona's song, Moo! What a nice song, it reminds me of the pasture. That song makes me feel so good, I can produce a lot of milk. Have some of my refreshing and nutritious milk. For playing Epona's song, we get a full bottle of Lon Lon milk, which is pretty good considering how much it actually heals you and stuff like that. So it's an easy way to get basically a health refill. But I'm going to go ahead and play the Serenade of Water because we need to go to the fishing pond to catch that Hylian Loach. And here we are in the fishing pond. Hopefully that little transition was pleasing for you guys. But if we run over here to the left, in this little patch of lily pads, the Hylian Loach always spawns over here. So what I want to do is just run around and try and flush it out so I can tell if it's actually here right now or not. And actually it's over there above that little log. So what I'm going to do is run out of the fishing pond and then run back in. Basically to get the Hylian Loach to spawn. I said it always spawns in that patch of lily pads back there, but that's a little bit disingenuous because when it does spawn, that's where it spawns. But to get it to spawn there at all, you have to pay 3 times to fish at the pond, and the 4th time you come back, it'll always be there. But if you come back that 4th time and don't pay, you can go leave and come back as many times as you want, and it will still be there. But I'm going to go ahead and pay here and try and catch it, but first I need to find the sinking lure. So I'll go ahead and speed this up and look for that lure. And here it is in a random spot in the grass against the wall of the fishing pond here. Here is the sinking lure, which is kind of infamous, I think, because of how mysterious it is, I guess. Back in the day, I didn't even think it was real until I read about it in Nintendo Power. Like, my friends were always like, oh, you gotta find the sinking lure to make fishing easier. Not that I really fished all that often. but it makes it really easy to catch fish. But to use it fairly, you have to talk to the guy over here and tell him that you actually found it. If you don't do this, if you catch a fish with it, basically he'll tell you you cheated, so you might as well go ahead and make sure it's fair to use. And I might as well go ahead and point out that you don't really even need the sinking lure to catch the Hylian Loach, but it makes it 1,000,000 times easier. So, now that I have this, I might as well go ahead and cast into that little lily pad patch over here, and hope by pure luck that I actually happen to snag the Hylian Loach. There are a whole bunch of other fish over there, so I probably won't get it as this one's trying to chase it down. I have a feeling that I'm probably not going to get lucky enough to get it while it's in the patch, and if you don't get it while it's in the lily pad patch, you have to do some weird tricks with the fishing rod to catch it while it's in the middle of the pond. But I have a feeling that I might have accidentally scared it out while I was looking for the sinking lure, or just, you know, being in the pond, sometimes it gets scared and runs out into the middle of the pond. So let me go ahead. What I might as well go ahead and do actually is cast my line out to where it goes if it gets scared and see if it's there. And I'll be able to tell if I'm going to have to do those fishing rod tricks or not. And there it is. It's that long brown fish right there. So what I'm going to have to do is speed this up because it can literally take an hour to catch this fish if you don't know what you're doing. And even if you do know what you're doing, it takes a long time. Finally, I got this thing on the line. As you can see, it is now nighttime, but it isn't just nighttime. Several in-game days have passed now, but to get it to actually latch onto the lure, you gotta put it like right behind its head, or like right by its tail almost, so when it turns around to go back up for air, because it has to do that apparently, even though it's a fish, it'll look at your lure and latch onto it. Eventually, after I think it's like 7 times it'll go up for air, it will go back to the lily pad and you can try and catch it there, but every time I try and catch it at the lily pad, I scare it back into the middle of the pond. So either way, for me anyway, I always scare it to somewhere where it's not easy for me to catch, but it's going to take forever for me to reel this in, so let me go ahead and once again, speed this up. And there we go, that is really the final thing that I can think of for me to do in Ocarina of Time. I've caught the Hylian Loach, and apparently I caught one that is 34 pounds, which is almost a little bit disappointing, because I think the heaviest one you can get is 35, so I almost got the heaviest one you can get possible in the entire game. But if we go over here and talk to the fisherman guy over here, basically he'll tell us that we caught the Hylian Loach and all that, we've caught the biggest fish possible and all that, but we only get a purple rupee, which is 50 rupees, despite having gone through all of that, which is a little bit disappointing, but I still feel good that I finally caught the Hylian Loach. But that, guys, is the final thing that I can think of to do in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and I hope you enjoyed this bonus episode.